Okay. Hey Radel, this is my first video on the channel. This is gonna be the channel called Studio Renazul. That's how you're gonna pronounce it. And so for my first video, I wanted to talk about how I finished my first sketchbook. It's this teeny little thing, but I finished it. It took me a little bit to finish. I mean, if we're being honest, I've been doing art for 7 years now. You know, I started like in, I guess like sophomore year in high school, and then it like I kept doing it. But yeah, now I actually like finally like finished like my first sketchbook. And the reason that like it took me like forever to kind of get to this point is because usually like whenever I would do like a sketchbook, I would only be able to like do like maybe like 10 pages or something in it until like I find like a new sketchbook in which I'm like, oh dude, this new sketchbook, it's like it's brown, or like it's like moleskin, when that like was like a popular thing. I think I have like so many like moleskins like sketchbooks still that I just have lying around because I bought too many when that was the thing. But yeah, and then you know, this book, when it first like came out, this was like no different, you know. I originally got it because of like how teeny tiny it is compared to like a normal sketchbook. What I'm working in right now is this one, which is obviously way bigger, but yeah. And so because it was like how small it was, it kind of like let me have like no excuses for kind of like doing art, you know. You know, I could carry it anywhere, and it's tiny enough to where I can like just like, you know, like draw in my little corner and people won't notice or like have to like look at the art I made, because I was like really self-conscious about my art during that time, which, you know, is like a whole thing. But yeah, and it gave me no excuses, and so I will be able to like actually go in and like actually draw as it went on. And by the time I got to like about like a quarter of the way through, I felt like, man, I'm having like a good beat to it. Like I'm actually like getting like stuff in, and it's not like just like a thing that I have that like, oh well, I'm done, I'm like a quarter in and I'm gonna find like a new thing to a new sketchbook to work in. But I actually like continued it. And so I want to kind of like showcase like what kind of stuff I've been drawing in here. It's this kind of stuff like mainly like anatomy that I've like kind of gone through, and like maybe like some things like for some projects here and there. So I'm gonna be walking you through that to like what kind of been happening throughout my life as I've been going through the sketchbook. Alrighty, so okay, let's get into it. Bit of a cut, but now we got kind of the proper setup to get into this. So first up on the pages, so I got this a while ago, obviously, and the first page here, I was during this time where I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. I wasn't sure what to do. And so I think I came across like a video on my Instagram that was like, hey, you know, if you're like nervous of like starting like your sketchbook, why don't you just put garbage on it? That way you're not carrying anymore. So that's what I did. I was just like, get out of the way. And so now like that's in the way, or like not in the way, but like I put that down, and then now after that, like I don't have to worry about like what to make after, because at least it's not this, right? So that's kind of like why I did that. Then next on here, these are like some studies that I've been kind of like using. What was the, I have it down here actually. It is the, which one is this? Which one is volume 1? This one is. I was using this. I was using this book. You've probably seen it around. It's super popular, by Taco. And it kind of goes into like the anatomy of like humans and just how to draw it in like on a manhwa style. And it's super cool. I definitely recommend it if you just are curious to like learn that kind of stuff. It's really cool. So yeah, and so these two I've just kind of been starting off of it, kind of like just redrawing what's been like in the book, just to understand like how to look from like different angles and all that jazz. Going into this is my OC that I did a while ago. Airnail, which is this like a furnace knight, which its belly is like he breathes in, makes fire in his belly, the belly expands, and then he shoots it out with like a fireball, and it's really cool. Here I tried maybe to like design like some other kind of character. I wanted to like explore like hairstyles and stuff, and like stuff that is a little bit I don't know what to say, like just kind of new, like kind of like maybe like a gooey hairstyle. I wanted to try that out. These are some very preliminary sketches about it. I'm like, now I'm like, ooh, oh my gosh. But back then I was like, yeah, okay. This was like another character I did for like a school project that kind of like didn't go too well, but that was a preliminary sketch for that one. This one is a drawing I saw from like Twitter, and then I was like, oh, I love like the pose, I love like how like the silhouette, and I love like just the design of the character. And so I tried to like merge that with kind of like how I wanted my character to look like and so forth. So those were these two, kind of exploring that, and I enjoyed it, like how it came out, Then here I did kind of like the landscape for that particular project. I wanted to do it where like the character was like skating down like a city or a highway, but skating down a highway and kind of just like, exploring, shooting stars, the next guy, all that jazz. Then here, I want to draw like some Jujutsu Kaisen, because this was like when kind of like, what season was that? I think it was 2 or 3. I'm not too sure. I have to remember, but it, this thing came up and it was like super cool, and I just loved watching it, and I loved the manga, and I was like picking up the manga to like go on to continue on where I think it's season 2, like where that ended up, where that finished. And so I kind of draw some stuff in the manga, maybe like some exploration of like just pushing, maybe it's like not giving too much of a crap of like what they look like and stuff. It's like, hey, this is how they're gonna look like, this is how they're gonna be, and all that. So I really enjoyed this page. This one, it was getting into now my thesis project, and for my thesis project, during this time, we got the animation reveal of One Piece Egghead, I think, yeah, Egghead. Or Eggman? No, Egghead. It's Egghead. And of Egghead Island. And I really loved it, like how like Luffy's stuff was looking. So I was like, oh, I gotta do something like that. And so like I made like a little space guy, kind of like going on with like that space theme. I love that, and that inspired me to like kind of like the costume I'm gonna be going on for my thesis. This one was just an exploration of like a dress that I saw on Pinterest, and it's like, oh, okay, well, what do I like about it? What do I don't like about it? And just kind of like trying to like put it on paper. Then here, it was kind of like a loose hand, kind of like not giving a crap, kind of drawings that I tried making on the board, just like maybe like, oh, well, this is trying to make a hand, or try to make a crappy hand, and then turn it into something else if I didn't like it. And then this one was like turned into a fish. Yeah. Then this one was a drawing an elk that I saw, and I really enjoyed doing this one. It was like super slow, and like I got like some like kind of exploration of like shadows and like just shape and how this stuff looked like, even like when with pen. Also, another thing that I should point out is during this time, I was really like keen on like, hey, I'm not using pencils, no pencils. I'm strictly only gonna be using what's it called? I'm only gonna be using pen, because I don't want it to like constantly be worrying about making a mistake. It's just like, hey, the line that went down, that's the line. That's the line. You gotta work with it. So yeah. And I really enjoyed doing that. It really like helped me kind of like be more confident. And just like what I do is like, hey man, it's just you move on with it, you know? So that was awesome. I did an exploration of like after I did the elk, because this one was, now that I remember it, because I'm going into this page, this was just an understanding of what like an elk or a deer looks like. And then going into this of like exploring what my creature for my thesis was gonna look like. And like in my thesis, my character was gonna fight like 2 monsters and all that. And so this was one of them. One of them is like it was like a hollow elk later on, but right now it was like a skeletal thing. So this was like an early kind of design for it. And then here I was exploring like how alligator looks like. And during this time, I actually went on a college field trip to the cypress swamp, and I got to see a bunch of like alligators there, and it was super cool. Then here I got a little bit more exploration of an alligator, and then which led to this beautiful design that I absolutely love. This is one of like my favorite OCs that really like it made it into the thesis, obviously. But I also just like, I'm like, I love this monster, you know, I love this like little creature. Name is SKETCHBOOK, and it's just like spiky guy, kind of like that, but it's SKETCHBOOK. And so it's like a really long like alligator dragon jumps from like alligator swamp. And it's just, I love the design of it. I love like the super spikes and all that. Then going into here, and also like I'm not caring about like the when markers bleed through, because I actually take pictures of like the drawings I make before I go into the next page, especially if I do end up drawing, or not drawing, but when I do end up like putting color and I know that those colors are gonna bleed through, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take a picture and I'm gonna do what I want to do. So yeah, this was my costume design, and it was because in my thesis, my character, I was gonna portray my character in a real world sense, but also character design, right? So I did explorations of like what I want the outfit to look like and all that. And so this is some of it. I kind of wanted to like incorporate like circles and like bubbles maybe into it, and so I'm kind of like exploring what it would look like, maybe like on the green on a green kind of style. Then I started thinking of like this like Japanese like back painting that kind of does these swirls. You see it like in Kazuha's like kind of like splash art when you get him in the 5-star roll and whatever, and the Genshin Impact. And so I was like, oh, but I really like this, so maybe something like this would be like really cool to like have in it. And so I explored that a little bit. Explored like doing kind of like some circles within circles, making like kind of crescent-ish with it. So this was some stuff I wanted, some shape exploration of what I want to look like, colors, some like more exploration about like what I want the suit to look like, maybe on the sleeves. Then this is like a preliminary kind of like, okay, this is what it's gonna look like. This is what the outfit's gonna look like that I'm gonna wear, and also the character's gonna wear in like the thesis. I took some measurements of myself here. And then I did some more elk exploration here, because I was still not too sure of what I wanted the elk creature to look like. So I did some more exploration here. This one was unfinished. We don't need to worry about that. But it was unfinished, and I was like, all right, I'm moving on. Then here, thesis was still going on, but I wanted to take a break on it and focus on some like other art. So here I like drew some fish. I really was looking into like this one specific, I think this was a monthly drawing thing for Loish on her Discord. And so it was like, that was the theme for the month, is like draw fish. And so this was one of the fish, and like I really like learned a lot about like form and like how like the shape bends back into like the page and all that. I really enjoyed that. I saw some more fish art on Pinterest, and I was like, oh, I love like how like even like when they're like not like super designed, like they still have like a bit of character, and I really like seeing them like kind of like whoosh, if that makes sense. But I really enjoyed this one. Here, there's this more. Now this is like starting of like summer, and I got into this one class, which was, what was it? I think it was this drawing, like it was this drawing class, and so we were exploring that, and I just drew kind of like, while people were getting set up, I just drew like easels like around the room, people getting that set up, do some like some perspective with like this one being closer and going further away in the back. Drew this pumpkin. I don't remember why, but it's just drew because I wanted to draw a pumpkin. This one, this was when Elden Ring came out, and I really liked the prisoner. I think it was the prisoner class or starting kind of character outfit. I really loved like the mask. The mask was like, oh my god, it's just, I loved how it looked so much, and so I drew that a little bit. But then I got like a little like upset about how I drew the arm. And it's like, bro, I know how to draw arm. Why did I draw the arm like this? This is not an arm. And so I went into like, okay, now you're gonna practice like drawing arm. So I did all this, drawing like all this, all the bones, all the muscles of the arm, and just to kind of get it into my brain. Okay, this is how you draw an arm. You know how to draw an arm. You don't act like you don't know how to draw an arm. So I did this. I looking back, I was pretty like kind of like, damn. I was pretty like what's the word? I was pretty kind of like about it, but like, you know, but yeah. And so after that, I was like, okay, now you're gonna draw legs. And so I learned the anatomy of the legs. This is and I love learning like how these symbols mean like it's always the same length. So now I know like that the thigh or the thigh bone, and then the lower leg bones. So I think the tibia, and then the femur, I think. I have to look at it again. I'm failing on my bone anatomy, but I have to look it up again. But they are the same length, so I know that. I learned to like what like the knee bone looks like. Did some muscles, learned that. Then some more art that I saw online, and I was like, oh, I really love like just like the composition of this and how like the wings like take it up and all that. This one was more Elden Ring stuff. I really enjoyed a lady, what's her name? Oh my god, I forgot her name, but like the super iconic boss from it. I can't not remember the name. That's so embarrassing. But I really love like the helmet design of hers. And I also really like the helmet design of like following on Alexander's quest line. And so I drew the helmet of that. I did another composition thing that I saw from Pinterest, and just kind of like how like these people are holding this one person up through like these spears, and it was like really cool. Then I did a drawing of a cow in front of a castle that I saw on Pinterest, and so I recreated it into my sketchbook. I don't know what other artists do. I mean, for a lot of the stuff that I do, it's kind of just like seeing what's on Pinterest. If I find that it's cool, and I'm like, okay, I want to kind of understand like how they did that, all that, and then I kind of just like draw it again in my sketchbook. Obviously, you know, I'm not really, you know, I mean, the sketchbook, I'm not really like doing shit out of it, you know. I'm not making like profit or any kind of like, I'm not even showing this like on social media other than like just me going through like the sketchbook, obviously. But that's just kind of what I do. This one on the other hand, this one on the other hand, this was something I got from a dream, and it was like my heart like pouring out into like a fountain that's on the roof. So I really like that one. I really like this. I think I'm gonna like look into this again and kind of like do something more than just this on it. So now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oop, all right, noted. for something I might do in the future. Then I did this Gandalf skating thing that I saw on Pinterest. But then this is the first and maybe the only drawing that I did where I'm like, I did it, and then later on I found out, oh wait, that's AI. So there's that. But yeah, it's there. Did a poem that I did for the class. Says, and it's about like this one art piece about these sharks kind of like hyper fixating on a sand dollar, which was like kind of like a kind of talk about capitalism and all that. But I mean, it's like I think it did back then. So I mean, I'll read it out for sure, obviously. First stanza is called Scatter. They all scatter across the sea like rats once they've been seen. No thoughts to one soul or anything of redeem. To race to find something to achieve. Search. All purpose and meaning can be found. They fight each other to snatch one like hounds, because there's only one which they see as profound. One dream to devour them whole. Found. The glistening gold that slaves all to action, only 1% able to gain from what they've latched on. The one true dream which they all would trade their tastes and vision. Oh, blessed be thy transaction. Oh, latched on transaction. I have to redo it, but that's kind of like what it says. This one, this was towards the beginning of October, September of last year, and I was getting into like face studies using where is it? Well, can't find it. Oh wait, no, there's. I lied. Using my Morpho book. So I use my Morpho book to kind of like understand like what the face looks like. Really good. Fantastic, actually. I really enjoyed using this and kind of like understanding how anatomy works. I mean, I'm not great at it, obviously, but I love using it to understand anatomy. So I highly recommend it if you ever come across it. Did some of that. Did some more kind of like self-guided understanding of it. Do some like just everyday objects to kind of like just go past the time. Did some more style exploration here. Drew a skull. Didn't like how that went out, but the bottom over here, I really like these skulls. Drew a little bit of a hand here. Drew me on a desk in a classroom. That was like a whole thing. Don't worry about that. Drew some more faces. Drew some more faces. Exploring that. Understanding that like the eye socket actually here it's comparable to like upside down glasses, which was really cool to kind of like understand as. So this was really helpful. And by the way, Morpho again, obviously. Just some more kind of understanding what a face looks like. Paired it on. Doesn't really come out well here, but like it was really helpful to kind of piece the head together as like these separate chunks that kind of, you know. Did like another like project, exploration of a night. There's some just like hand warm-ups here. Exploration of like armor going on here. Some more stuff that I found online. Do a bit of a princess pose exploration here. Went back into doing like some head stuff. Do this one character I really loved from Supervive, I think it is called. Let me double check. Yeah, Supervive. It was just like this bunny healer. Loved it, so I drew her. Did some more gesture composition exploration. Again here, drew the goddess Hecate on this page. I really love this statue that I found, and so I drew it on the paper. Drew myself as a cat. Don't gotta get into that. Did some exploration about a teacher. Drew some symbols up here that I really enjoy for myself. Did some exploration here about a YouTuber. Did some notes here about a video about how to draw faces and all that, and how hard edges versus soft edges. Pose exploration, really like this one. Pose exploration, this is from a artist online, or an influencer. I don't know, I find her more as like a photography artist, but this photography artist online that's like helping people to like learn to do like interesting poses for like their Instagrams and stuff like that. I'll probably look her up, find her stuff, and like put it up on here. Do some Pokemon. I really like this. I got some like new markers and stuff, and I wanted to like try using them just to see how they would do. Did some dragon art because I was like, fuck it, let me try doing some. Did that. I really enjoyed it for that time. Did some more kind of Plexus page stuff. And so I drew this flower. Did that. Drew Teto. Really loved drawing Teto. This one was like one of like my favorite pieces to come out of like my sketchbook, and I'm like, it came out so good. I'm happy about it. Did some more kind of, let's say, super general, super quick studies. That I got into Deltarune for the first time. I think it was beginning of this year, actually. This is crazy. Like Deltarune and Undertale. Don't get at me, but yeah, I did. Yeah, so, and I really liked Rouse. I really like Rouse. I mean, I know this is like an old meme, but like I found it and it was like, oh, that's hilarious. So yeah. There's some more symbols. Did some more kind of like, I don't care, I'm just drawing like edgy 2012 high schooler shit. So just drew, man. I just drew on this page. That's all that happened. Chris art. I wanted to like explore like some like pixel to regular draw, or to like non-pixel art, and so like transitioning from like what's like some like sprites in the game to like just regular drawing. This one was an OC I made for Art Fight, and it was exploring kind of like the themes of like a tanky knight thing, or a tanky knight person, and the person's hair was in the shape of a heart that I love to do. More exploration of poses. Or like armor that it would look like, how like the body anatomy would be like. Something from Pinterest again. Really liked how it came out, but it was super fun to like draw that. I drew the Mega Dragonite. I really liked how Mega Dragonite looks like. I know that was like a lot of like heated discussion about it like when it came out, but I really liked it. So yeah. Oh my god. This is the thing. That was the thing. Some more stuff from Pinterest. This stuff from like a K-pop video that I just watched through when I was at a boba cafe. More stuff. This is Drew from Pinterest. Some more stuff. Little gadgets, poses, all that jazz. Some critique also. Another thing, eye exploration. Really like the eye makeup that I see on Pinterest, and so I draw a lot of that. Like some stuff I found I'm about to stop saying it if because it's starting to get really boring. Yeah, so this stuff here is exploration on shapes. Oh, no, please. Okay, this is stuff here. It was exploration of shapes that I wanted to like get into, like, okay, well, what's this look like here, what's it look like there, and it was like understanding of like what shapes mean in a piece of art. And so I did this kind of like a gestural drawing of like a person, like a musician playing with like shapes and like stars. and I really like how like this one drew out. I'm still like working on it, but yeah. Some more stuff. I'm drawing like little statues I find and that I find like really cool. So I'm drawing statues to kind of understand like how form works. Another thing of like something from Pinterest is like fisheye lens. Do that for a little bit. I do my little like it's a blind box thing. I'm sorry, but I drew. Sorry guys. But I drew a little thing I got from a blind box. I really love this one, and I associate this little statue I have from a blind box like holding my my sad emotions while I'm out and about and I'm feeling like uneasy. So yeah. Knights of Guinevere came out. Love that. Fucking, I love that so much. I drew the character here. I love it. Love how it came out. Drew her on the side. Drew a little curry pin upside down when I was bored at work, at a meeting or whatever. Some gesture explorations here. Gesture explorations again. I mean, here I'm just putting pen on paper, or not pen, but pencil on paper, and it's just kind of like, all right, I'm going through it, man. You know. So that's going on. Some more of that. Keep going. Started getting into X Gala. I should find the name, but I started to get into them. And like I really like their music videos, and so I drew some stuff on it. This was another part in the music video, but then I was like, ugh, the face, I can't. And then I was so upset about how it was coming out, and I was like, I'm drawing Guinevere, and I did it, and I'm like, now, oh, this is actually not that bad, and it's actually really funny. So I really like this. I really like that picture now too. Did some night helmet exploration at a restaurant when I was there with my brother. It was a lot of fun. Did a pose of an anime girl like squatting down. Don't look at that. This was a big part. But here, more stuff from Pinterest, some like stuff that I'm exploring. It was Planttober on Kara, the social media app for artists. And this is the first one was Moss. And here, I think maybe like on this page or on the next page, I was like, wait a minute, I'm actually gonna finish the book actually. And so I started like, oops, sorry, I'm getting a little excited, but I started doing some exploration about flowers, because I'm really getting into drawing these like plants and kind of like understanding how to like better push myself and all that. And like these came out, I'm having a blast with like these markers and exploring like what they do and how I could use them for like the drawings and all that. And I'm posting on social media. I'm like going through all of it. I'm like doing this and that. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. And I'm pushing. And I'm just having, and I'm like, each page, I'm like, I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer to the end. This one actually was like my most highest performing ones on the social media, and it was a really simple one in which I was just like exploring kind of like perspective with the anise, I think it's called, with the anise. So that was that. This sunflower I really liked. I was going off of some color choices I saw on Pinterest, but I really just enjoyed kind of, I don't know, this kind of like color dynamic, I think is the name. This color dynamic, it kind of really reminds me of Flower Boy, the album by Tyler the Creator, and so I really like this. But it could be just because it's sunflowers and the album deals that. But I don't know, this makes me think of Tyler the Creator. There's some root exploration here. This one didn't really make it. I wasn't really too like happy with how it came out, so I was like, whatever, I don't have to post everything. This one was my best performing one, and it's great. It's phenomenal. Fucking love it. Yeah, loved how it came out. I love like the perspective and like the shadows and all that. I really enjoyed how that one came out. Then I did the spider lilies. This I really liked. I really liked the color choice. Instead of like doing like a darker green, I instead did like for a blue, and that was a lot of fun. Then I started exploring, okay, well now I don't have to like just draw what I see. I could just make up shit. So this was the Forget-Me-Nots, and I explored like doing that. Really enjoyed how that one came out. Did a Rosemary. I think this is what this one was. Did this one. And didn't enjoy it as much as like the others too, but I just explored it again. Went through that. This was a tree. You can't see it because the ink of the other one is coming up. I did a tree which the roots would come out from multiple, or the stem of the tree would come out from multiple parts and stuff. I have to like look up the names for all these, but yeah, this one was one of them. Did this flower. Really enjoyed like doing this one and like this like understanding shape and like just really like being precise with like where like the shadows are going and all that. This was the kind of like winterberry stuff. I really enjoyed like just how like the berries are like very small but bright red, and they really pop out from the like the white page. I'll post like how that came out like on Instagram and on Kara when I do the editing on this video, but it came out really nice and I loved it a lot. Did some seaweed. This one was exploration of like how like color would look like underwater and all that. So I really like this one, and like this is, let me catch myself going way too fast here. Some water exploration, and then came to the last page, and this was the cactus. And I don't know why cactus was my last page, but it was. Oh, there's something back here, but that's for me and Hecate. The cactus was my last page, and here I really enjoyed it. I was like doing some I don't know, I could always just call it just like, oh well, this was more impressionistic, and like I explored like how like shadows played like very meticulously in the pictures and all that. And this was my last page in the whole book, and I really enjoyed that. I pushed myself to like make one of my best work as my last page out of all this going on in the book. So yeah, I really enjoyed like how that came out. And then, you know, I drew that, and that's it. It came like a super quick stop, sorry about that, but that was the drawings that I make, and I really enjoyed doing it, and I'm like so happy with myself to be actually able to like finish this book. And it's kind of sweet looking back to it. I like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh wow, like there's this saying like from Adventure Time, it now has like such a deep connection to me with just like looking at this book, because now it means something to me, you know, just personally, instead of like it just being like a saying. It means something to me because now it's the book talking to me about how life went through and all that. So I really am so proud of myself of completing this book, and I'm so happy to like be moving forward with this being my first book. So yeah. Super happy with that came out. I know this was like a insanely long video, and it's probably gonna still be going on for a bit, but yeah, this is my first book. It wasn't until I got to this part where it goes into like the Planttober sketch that's happening like on Kara right now, in which I actually like realized like I was like, oh shit, like I'm actually gonna finish this. And so yeah, this was like a really like big shift for me at the time. And like, because before that, like when I was like halfway through, it just became like just me like just clocking in, just like, okay, new page, new page, new page, new page, new page, da 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 da, all that. And then I got to this part, and it's just like, it's real. And so I kind of gave myself like the challenge, or I guess like an extra push, that like every time I like open it to like do a new day, it was gonna be just a little bit better than it was the last day, right? and maybe sometimes like I've gone like up and down in terms of like the quality of work. Maybe it wasn't as good as like the day before, but like my intention was still there. Like I'm still trying better, I'm trying a little bit more, trying a little harder, and if it doesn't work out, that's okay, but I'm trying a little bit harder every time. And the reason for that was because like it started to like become like a really big deal for me to actually like finish this. And so I didn't want like the last pages to be just like, oh well, like stick figure here, stick figure there, maybe like a ball, you know. I wanted to actually like hey, put some actual like stuff in it, put like some stuff that like actually you're pushing yourself to do so. And so that's where we're at with this. And I wanted to like do it as a kind of like a memorabilia or something, I don't know, something along those lines. Maybe I'm not too familiar with the vocab, but I wanted it to be something like, hey, like I've done this, and it's like, and it was like a hard thing, but I've gone through it, and I like came out better because of that. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I wanted to do as I went on with this. And I mean, and I was super proud of myself with this being like the last sketch on it. I'm super proud of how it came out. I'll show it on here if I don't show it on the second cam, or yeah. But not only that, but I also wanted to make a video about it because this is such a big deal for me. This is why you're here now. And to me, the sketchbook is more than just like the first sketchbook that I finished. It is like a physical piece of proof of me or a physical piece of proof that I showed up for myself and drew for over 100 times, like 100 days. I like get like, here and there they may be like some like missed days and stuff like that, but I know for a fact at least 100 days I've gone past in which I put myself down in a chair somewhere, or maybe on a bench or whatever, and I dedicated myself to drawing, and I've done it 100 times, and so that gives me motivation to be like, well, if I've done it 100 times, why not 100 more? And so that's kind of what this tiny little book means to me now. And I really hope that this video in some ways inspires you too. Maybe seeing a sketchbook in this way helps you show up to make more sketches for yourself too, and not because like you need to, or because like you need to get better or anything like that, but because you want to, because this is something that you enjoy or that you enjoy to do, just like I do. It's super late for me right now, and tomorrow I'm taking a flight way over to California, Pasadena, because I'm going to Lightbox Expo. This video's obviously not gonna come out before that because I'm gonna be too busy hanging out over there and all that. But when this video does come out, it'll probably be the first video on the channel. I'll be there, and then it'll happen, and then I'll probably have a video coming up later about my trip to the Lightbox Expo after that. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you. Bye.